Hi everyone. In this video, I am going to go over the problem solution essay. There's a number of resources here. This video might be a little on the long side, but I just want to make sure that I kind of thoroughly go over the information that is available to you. Make sure that you are getting off on the right foot for this project. So let's start by, I'm in the week 2 folder, readings and resources. A lot of the documents I'm going to be showing you can be found in some of the other weeks, but I just made a video covering what we're doing during week 2. So I was kind of already here, and I will show you some of these resources here in a little bit more depth than I did in my week 2 overview. So the first thing we should look at is just the problem solution essay instructions. So I just downloaded that. Let me open that up. Move it over here to my screen. Okay. So this is the first major project in English 205. What you're going to be doing here, to put it real simply, is you're going to be identifying a problem. It could be anything that you feel like talking about, any kind of problem really, and you are going to be proposing a solution to that problem. That is the heart of this essay, but let me now go into some of the some of the details about it. So the purpose of this assignment: in your academic, personal, and professional lives, being able to effectively solve a problem is an essential skill. Carefully examining a problem to understand its history, causes and effects, as well as past and current solutions will enable you to identify and advocate for effective solutions in multiple areas of your life. So that's the purpose of this assignment. We also have some skills here that this assignment is designed to test or to give you some practice in. I'll let you read through those on your own. I am going to try to make this video not as long as possible. What you're required to do in this essay: write about any problem that's of interest to you, and you're going to propose a new solution that will work to solve at least part, if not all, of that problem. Make sure that you are choosing a problem that you can successfully define and analyze and propose and defend a solution for in a minimum of 1,200 words. So for example, world poverty is maybe too broad of a topic for this paper, but if you want to look specifically at like poverty in Cleveland, that would be a more manageable topic. Your essay must follow the Dewey sequence, which, let me open up this link here. Taking a little bit longer to load than I would like. That might suggest to me that the link is broken, which is not a big deal because that information can be found in other places. So I'll show you another place to find that information here in a second. But essentially what you're going to be doing is defining the problem, exploring its current state. You're going to look at the problem's history. You're going to analyze the problem's causes and effects. You're then going to propose a solution and discuss how that solution might be implemented or put into practice. And you're going to defend the proposed solution and address any potential objections. So you're going to be explaining why that solution would work, why it might be better than other solutions, and if anyone might have objections to your solution. For instance, a common one is like money, like who's going to pay for this, or like how expensive is this project going to be. That's something that you would want to address in your paper. Your essay must also include the following. You need to have an introduction with a hook, something that gets the reader's attention, makes them want to read more, as well as a strong thesis statement. You should have well-developed body paragraphs that have topic sentences that cite support and also use concluding sentences. Your paper needs to have at least 4 sources that are correctly cited in APA style. And no more than 20% of your paper should be quoted text. So you're not just going to be dumping a whole bunch of quotes into this paper. Most of your paper needs to be your own words, even if you're paraphrasing a source. So no more than 20% of your paper should be directly quoting one of your sources. Your paper needs to be at least 1,200 words. That does not include your cover page and your references. We have an example problem solution essay and the rubric that I'm going to use to grade your paper. So that is the assignment sheet. Let's now take a look at a few other things that'll be helpful here. We have a problem solution essay PowerPoint. Actually, I already have this pulled up. So let me go through this with you. As I mentioned a moment ago, in your paper, you're going to be identifying a problem. This could be social, educational, environmental, etc. You're going to be explaining and defining that problem. What is it? Why is it a problem? Who is being impacted? How are they being impacted? Is this problem been going on for a long time, or is it a more recent phenomenon? You'll need to understand kind of the past of the problem as well as current solutions that are being tried. So what are people already doing to try to address this issue? And you might need to talk a little bit about why those current solutions are not working, or why they are not the best solutions, which then leads to you proposing and defending your own solution, something that you think will help address the problem. And then towards the end of your paper, anticipate and address any objections to the problem. So does your solution have any potential weaknesses? How might people criticize your problem? How might you address concerns that people have? That sort of thing. Basic requirements needs to be a formal essay structure. So you're going to have an intro, a body, and conclusion. Your intro is going to have a hook and a thesis statement. Your body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence, which is a sentence that identifies what the paragraph is going to be about, or what the point of the paragraph is. Your body paragraph should end with concluding sentences that are going to kind of bring the paragraph to a satisfying conclusion. It's going to give a sense of closure to the paragraph, and it's also going to transition into the next paragraph. And then at the end of your paper, you're going to have a conclusion paragraph. The whole paper needs to be in APA format, so you need a cover page, you need to have in-text citations, you need to have a references page. All of your in-text citations and references need to be in APA. You need to have at least 4 sources, and your quoted content should be no more than 20% of the essay. And it needs to be a minimum of 1,200 words, not counting the cover page and references. These are kind of overarching criteria that will be used to grade you. So a clear thesis that indicates the essay's argument and position. Going to be looking at your focus. The essay thoroughly defines and analyzes the problem. The problem's causes and effects are carefully examined. The solution is specific and well thought out. I'm going to be looking at the paragraphs and overall development. So your paragraphs are fully developed and include various logical appeals and specific examples. Your ideas should be well organized. Each body paragraph should begin with a topic sentence and end with a concluding sentence. And you need to follow the Dewey sequence. Your ideas should be well supported with credible outside research. So you need to have at least 4 sources for this paper. You need to have strong command over your mechanics, usage, grammar, and spelling. So avoid spelling mistakes, avoid grammar mistakes, make sure things are punctuated correctly. And the paper needs to be in APA style/format. Here we have a breakdown of the various assignments, weeks 2 through 5, that will help you develop the knowledge and skills you need in order to be successful on this paper. I'll let you read through these on your own. I think this is kind of nice. It just shows you how the various concepts in this class build upon each other to help you be successful in the essay. And you can also ask me for feedback. So at any time, you're welcome to send me a rough draft of your paper. I will give you fairly detailed comments on that. But if you want my feedback, you need to send it to me no later than the Wednesday before the assignment is due. So if I'm remembering correctly, this assignment is due on the Sunday of week 5, which means the Wednesday of week 5 is the last day that you can send me your paper to give you feedback. And that covers the PowerPoint. Let's now look at the rubric that I'm going to be using to grade your paper. So altogether, this paper is worth 100 points, and you'll see how those points are divided up into different categories. So your thesis statement is 15, focus is 20, paragraphs and development is 25, your use of support is 20, your MUGS, which stands for mechanics, usage, grammar, and spelling, is 10 points, and then APA format and basic requirements are an additional 10 points. Now, I don't know if it'd be a good use of our time here for me to read through every single one of these boxes, but in case you've never really looked at a rubric before, this box gives you kind of an overview of what the category means. So like, what does it mean to have a good thesis statement? What do I mean by focus? And then each of these columns tells you, the different levels of success for accomplishing these things. So an outstanding thesis will meet these criteria. A good thesis will meet these criteria. Competent and then needs work. And same thing here. Strong focus is going to meet these criteria. Good focus is going to meet these criteria, so on and so forth. So before you turn in the final draft of your paper, make sure you read through that rubric. That'll give you hopefully a clear idea of how I'm going to be grading you. And it's a good way to test to make sure that your paper is, meeting the expectations and there's not any little details that you've overlooked. So let's see here. We went over the rubric and the instructions. We also have a sample problem solution essay. Please make sure to read that on your own. That'll give you a really good sense of what your paper should look like. And I think the last thing I will point out here is I'll go over the Dewey sequence with you. Now, you've heard me kind of talk through this at least once already, so this is probably not super new information. But this is the kind of rough order of ideas that you should, or how you should develop your ideas in your paper. So you're going to be defining the problem, what exactly is the problem? If there's any terms or concepts or ideas that needed to be defined, you do those towards the beginning of your paper. This first step is going to be pretty short. It's probably not going to be real in depth because step 2 is where you're going to get into more detail about it. You're going to analyze the problem. So what is the history of the problem? When did it begin? How long has it been going on? Where did we get to where we're at now? What caused it? And then what are the effects? So when it says what are the symptoms, that's really what that means. What are the effects, the consequences of the problem? What current methods exist for dealing with it? So are there any laws or policies in place already? Are there any organizations that are doing things to combat the problem? What resources exist to handle the problem? And then you might want to talk about the limitation of those methods. So, why are those methods not working? Why are they not as good as they could be? Next, you probably want to talk about what would make for the optimal solution. So the ideal solution, like what is that going to cost? How is it going to be enforced? Who is it going to affect? Who's going to put it into place? Step 4, you might propose a variety of solutions. So what are different ways that this problem could be solved? Then evaluate those solutions. What are their pros and cons? Why is maybe one solution better than the others? Then you'll actually select a solution. So of all the solutions that you've suggested, which one is the best? Which one is your main, the main course of action that you would want to pursue? And then you might want to talk about how to implement that solution. So that's the Dewey sequence. Now, the really important thing here, like you may not necessarily do every single one of those things in your paper. The important thing really is to do these things right here on the assignment sheet. So define the problem, explore its current state, look at the problem's history, analyze its causes and effects, propose a solution and discuss how it could be implemented, and defend the proposed solution and address any potential objections. So for instance, maybe in your paper, you're only really going to propose one solution. You don't necessarily need to propose multiple solutions. You can. That's, kind of technically what the Dewey sequence entails. But this right here, these are the five most important steps, five most important things to discuss in your paper. And I think that pretty well covers it. We have a lot of useful resources here for you to write this paper. I have moved through some of these things, kind of quickly. I think it would be a good idea to read through them on your own, maybe take some notes about it, write down any questions that you have, and follow up with me. If you want any examples of things, you want me to clarify anything, just let me know, and I would be happy to do so.